Hello, everyone. My name is Sahid, and I'm here to talk about standardizing feature flagging with OpenFeature. But what exactly is a feature flag? Feature toggles, often also referred to as feature flags, are a powerful technique allowing teams to modify system behavior without changing code. This is from Pete's blog over on Martin Fowler's site. Now, in its most basic form, you might implement a feature flag like this, using an environment variable. But this only gets you so far. Imagine being able to flip a feature on or off without waiting for a new deployment, or giving your product owners the ability to control features themselves, or having feature flags that are context aware. For example, you could enable a feature only for users in certain regions, only on mobile devices, or just for a specific app version. But what I want you to take away from this is that there's much more to feature flags than simple on-off toggles. So why are feature flags such a big deal in modern software delivery? First, safer rollouts. Instead of flipping a feature on for everyone at once, you can enable it maybe just for internal users or 1% of traffic. And if something goes wrong, you can turn it off instantly without a redeployment. Second, faster feedback. Feature flags let you measure performance, usability, or adoption with real data before making a full commitment. And third, more control. You can ship code to production at any time, but keep new functionality hidden behind a flag until you're ready. This ability to separate deployment from release is key to unlocking continuous deployment. While feature flags are powerful, they do come with some challenges. APIs are inconsistent across flag management systems. Every vendor has its own SDK. And it's this inconsistency that can make it harder to migrate to a different system, leading to vendor lock-in. There's also no standard way to plug feature flags into things like logging or metrics. What we need is a standard. And this is where OpenFeature comes in. OpenFeature is a CNCF project that defines an open specification that provides a vendor-agnostic, community-driven API for feature flagging that works with your favorite feature flag management tool or in-house solution. Even if you've never heard of OpenFeature, you've likely heard of OpenTelemetry before, which was actually a big inspiration for OpenFeature. I like to draw parallels between the two because they're very similar in many ways. They're both CNCF incubating projects. They both define open standards. They each have SDKs across many languages. And they both allow for pluggable backends. So you might be doing something like this today, where your application evaluates flags via a feature flagging client, which calls out to the feature flagging service. With OpenFeature, the feature flagging client now consists of the OpenFeature SDK and what is called a provider. Now, providers are this abstraction between the OpenFeature SDK and the underlying flag management system. And what's really cool about OpenFeature is that this pluggable approach actually allows you to change the underlying flag evaluation logic by simply swapping out the provider, avoiding the need for a major code refactor. Now let's take a look at how to actually evaluate flags using the OpenFeature SDK. You'll first need to register a provider. In this case, we're just using the included no-op provider for demo purposes, but you can swap it out with the provider of your choice. Next, you need a client, which is a lightweight abstraction that is bound to a provider and is used to evaluate flags. So in this case, we're just evaluating a Boolean flag named v2 enabled that has a default value of false. The no-op provider just returns the default value. So in this case, v2 enabled would be false, and this program would not print anything. So a ton of providers already exist, but if you find yourself having a custom use case, you can implement your very own provider. A provider is any type that implements the feature provider interface. By implementing this interface, you're telling the OpenFeature SDK how to evaluate flags for this provider. So given the name of the flag, its default value, and some contextual information, it's up to you to decide how to source the flag value, whether it's using a bespoke REST API, a vendor SDK, or a YAML file. So we've only scratched the surface, and there's so much more to OpenFeature than I could cover in this talk. But some notable concepts include hooks, which allow you to add some custom logic to well-defined points of the feature flagging lifecycle. Eventing, which allows your code to react to state changes in the flag management system. And domains, which give you the ability to use more than one provider in your code. Before I close, I do want to mention that there are plans for a V2 underway. It's an opportunity to introduce support for generics and rename identifiers a little more idiomatically, among other things. It's a great time to get involved, and we would love the community's feedback and contributions to help shape the future of the Go SDK. My name is Sahid Velji. I'm a software engineer at Capital One, and I became a maintainer on the OpenFeature Go SDK about 2 months ago. So I hope you're now as excited as I am about OpenFeature, and I encourage you all to join the community in our journey to standardize feature flagging for everyone. Thank you.